Chad, winners and losers, we're always quick to jump in and try to grade a trade. I think everyone won in this Aaron Rodgers trade. I think Green Bay held firm on what they wanted. The Jets didn't give up a first-round pick this year. They still hold theirs. They swap first-round picks, but the Jets still end up with Aaron Rodgers. They have a first and a second-round pick remaining this year. They trade away a second this year and a second next year that turns into a first if Rodgers comes in and does what we all expect him to do. That's a huge win for that organization. And then we all collectively win because at least for this offseason, it's over. We've weathered the storm, the Rodgers drama storm, and it will pick back up a year from now. The Jets have signed up for this. They just hope that the drama really begins in February on whether or not he wants to continue to play and where and for how much and who he wants to play with and if he's happy, more than it starts in January at the end of the regular season, the first round of the playoffs. The Jets had to get this done. They did. Green Bay gets something in return, and they don't have to give up anything if the guy who has been doing this for 3 or 4 years now every offseason trying to decide what he wants to do, they don't have to give up anything if he decides that he's done after 2023.
It's also, when you look at Rodgers, is he really going to have a new lease on life with the Jets? Because I think part of this trade and what's going to happen with him is he going to be revived from a football perspective? Because he's a guy who's clearly got tons of interest in all sorts of areas. But I don't think the football part of it was completely there let's say the last season in Green Bay. And we know it's not always there in the offseason. Not that he's getting out of shape or any of that. But will this give him a renewed spirit that can then produce 3 more seasons with the Jets? If this is a 3-year proposition and Aaron Rodgers goes and he's Aaron Rodgers for 3 years with the Jets, it's a huge win for the Jets. If it's a 1-year thing and they don't win the Super Bowl, then it's not a win for the Jets ultimately. But right now, today, I agree with you, Hutton. I think it's a win for both sides. Green Bay eliminates their headache of Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets get what they've wanted for so long, a franchise quarterback that can pair well with this roster they currently have.
Chad, give us the rumor of the day that proves it's the week of the NFL draft.
Rumor of the day, maybe rumor of the week. If it proves that Will Levis is not the number 1 overall pick or the number 2 overall pick, it'll definitely just be a rumor. But the fact that on Reddit, someone can create an account 6 days ago and post that Will Levis is currently plus 4,000 to be the first overall pick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's telling friends and family Carolina will, in fact, take him on Thursday. You're welcome. Did the lack of a comma in that one spot bother anyone else but me in this Reddit post? Either way, the fact that this happens and suddenly the Vegas markets just go crazy with the odds changing for Will Levis to be number 1 overall based on this rumor tells me, Hutton, more than anything else, that we need this draft to get here quickly.
Here are the updated odds for number 1 overall. Bryce Young remains the favorite at minus 700. But Levis has moved up to plus 400 for number 1 overall, followed by C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and then I don't even know why they put the other odds up there, like Nolan Smith and B.J. Ojulari.
Brian Breesy, going to be the number 1 overall pick? That would be a shocker.
Yeah, I mean, you list everyone because there's a sucker for anything, right? To put $1 on, they'll take your dollar. It's going to be Bryce Young. Adam Schefter, Mortensen, others are adamant with this.
They have not backed down from it either.
And the debate and the drama is created because I think everyone is in on the number 1 overall pick being Bryce Young. So now it's, what's Houston going to do? Well, the odds-on favorite for the number 2 overall pick in Vegas is, in fact, Will Levis. And we just spoke with John McClain, who says he doesn't see Houston trading back out of pick number 2. But the odds for number 2 overall are Will Levis and Tyree Wilson, who John says that he's leaning towards having in his final mock draft. Wilson, the pass rusher at number 2 to Houston. But then that slots everyone in a different, a different light for how all the mocks have turned out and all of the drama and the talk, where I don't think we see the quarterback crop of last year compared to this one. I think this one's better. But the hype is around the QBs. And if they fall longer than, top 10, we're going to see a lot of debate about who really knows anything anymore. It's just hype for a television show. I hope it's more than that. But ultimately, that's what we're doing. We're helping the league create a television show, a reality show, and you can't do that without some drama and suspense and selling hope. But in Houston's case, Chad, the way to sell hope is to draft a quarterback.
It feels like we also do a good job of continuing to prop up the league and their television product with all this hype and speculation.
Yeah.
Because we quickly forget about the hype and speculation once the pick is made. What I mean by that is once it happens, we're shocked.
And then you debate.
And we're immediately thinking, man, well, we were surprised by that because everyone was thinking this.
Yeah.
So even when there's surprises, by the next week, all we're thinking and talking about is what that player is going to be like with that team. And no one cares at all about what the pre-draft hype was once it's over, right? So it's like we quickly, it's Will Hunting putting equations and algorithms on the chalkboard, and then it's all on the chalkboard, and then the draft happens. The moment it happens, we just take the eraser and erase everything that happened before and start putting new algorithms and equations on the chalkboard. That's all we care about. So the fact that we have such a short memory and we don't care about the draft hype anymore, we just care about post-draft, helps perpetuate this cycle of getting all into the NFL draft before it starts.
So there are storylines and opinions that are unpopular this time of year. You hear something, you're like, whatever. Like Will Levis being number 1 overall. Kiper said that in January, and we haven't stopped mentioning that Kiper said that in January as a dumb opinion. We do have some unpopular opinions that we actually believe in and buy in and that we think are pretty popular, something that we would actually look for on Thursday's draft. Chad, get us started with unpopular opinion number 1 that you say is absolutely fact.
So I'm going to go with a Biletnikoff Award winner as an unpopular opinion. It's not this year's Biletnikoff Award winner, who is Jalen Hyde. It's the previous year's, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison at Pitt, absolute star. Goes to USC. Production is good. Not quite as good as the year before. But I look at Jordan Addison, and I see his production, and I see that he's not bad at anything. Great route runner. He's got the speed. He's just a football player. You know who he's going to be? Stephon Diggs in the NFL. He is light years better than any other receiver in this draft. I don't think there's another receiver that's worthy of a first-round pick besides Jordan Addison in this draft. And that is an unpopular opinion because most have Jackson Smith and Jigba as the number 1 receiver in this draft. I absolutely love Jordan Addison. He is 6 feet tall, just like Stephon Diggs, about the same height and weight. I think he is going to be a stud in the NFL.
I like that. I do like Quentin Johnston, though, as well. I like the traits there.
Yeah. Drafting traits.
Speed. You overdraft at quarterback and you overdraft at wide receiver because of the speed.
Yeah. I just think Jordan Addison's just the complete package.
Everything.
Yeah. He's got enough of everything.
You're saying he's a Kansas City Chief.
He's got enough of everything, and he strikes me as the type of guy that's going to go in and work for it and be elite in the league.
Chad, I'm keeping this very simple. The best player in this draft is the same dude that everyone was talking about in the SEC for the last 2 years. And he's the same guy that was number 1 on the board when Chicago held the number 1 overall pick. It's Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is the best player. He's dominant. He's disruptive. He collapses the pocket. He's a grizzly bear. The issues that have cropped up, while they are acknowledged, they are issues. Guess what this league overlooks when you can ball? Issues. He is too good to pass on. And teams are going to be worse because they passed on the best player and allowed a team like Detroit, Seattle, Philly. We can continue to list teams that are playoff contenders to draft a no-brainer that fell to them because other teams pass on the best player in the draft, Jalen Carter.
I like it, Hutton. The only thing that gives me a little bit of concern is the getting out of shape before the pro day and not finishing the drills. but I think he'll correct that. I'm with you. I think the guy is an absolute monster for someone's defense. So I like that one. And another unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
That's the key. Does it meet the standard of unpopular opinion? I believe my next one does. I don't think one of these 4 quarterbacks are dropping to any level at all. In fact, I'll go a step further and say there's going to be one who rises to a level that we're not expecting. All 4 of these top quarterbacks we've been discussing are going to go by pick number 11. So I think they're all gone. And I'll add another one in there. Should I? No, I'm not going to. 4 will be gone by pick number 11. I think there's a chance Hendon Hooker goes also.
In the 11?
I think,
one of the 4?
I think Bryce Young is gone, number 1.
Okay.
I think C.J. Stroud is gone before pick number 10. I think the Raiders are going to draft Will Levis.
Okay.
I think that Anthony Richardson is going to either the Titans at 11 or a wild card like John McClain predicted, maybe with the Seattle Seahawks before that, or someone's trading up, or maybe, the Falcons are going to be a player. I think they're all gone by pick number 11. You know what? I'll do it. 5 quarterbacks gone by 11. I think Hendon Hooker's going in that too. I think we're going to have 5 quarterbacks going 11. Screw what I said before. Not just 4, all 5
Can you find a
are
6th?
gone. Also, Stetson Bennett. I'm kidding. I think 5 are gone. I think Hooker's going to go to the Titans at 11. I don't want to ruin too much of my mock draft that's coming up.
Yeah.
But I think Hendon Hooker's gone at 11. I think the other will find homes in the top 10.
The Anthony Richardson one is...
And only 2 will be good. That's the other thing about the draft, right?
CJ,
I think only 2 of the quarterbacks will actually turn out to be good pros.
In this, you have Houston taking a quarterback as well at 2. You would have
either that or someone trading up.
Okay.
To 2 to get someone.
Yeah, that's unpopular now. I know a month and a half ago it wasn't unpopular.
But
now it's like, these Q scores, these cognitive tests, really dropped all these prospects.
But what
as if boards are literally being moved as these scores are leaked?
Yeah,
dropping, quote unquote.
Well, here's another possibility: Bryce Young 1, Anthony Richardson 4 to the Colts.
Yeah. You've got Vegas taking Will Levis.
Will Levis, C.J. Stroud 8 if he falls the Falcons.
Okay.
Let's say the Falcons take C.J. Stroud. And then Hendon Hooker 11 to the Titans.
Or these teams just pass on these guys.
Or only one goes, and it's number 1, Bryce Young.
What if the Panthers don't draft Bryce Young? They draft anyone else and shock everybody. Crazy.
It's not going to shock that guy on Reddit that started the account 6 days ago.
Chad, I agree with you on the wide receivers and the crop as a whole. There are a lot of the same guys in this class. And for that, you're more likely to wait than jump up and see a run on wide receiver like we have in years past. But I think the most productive wide receiver as a rookie is not even being talked about. I think it's Cedric Tillman from Tennessee. He's the 2nd biggest receiver compared to Quentin Johnston. He's a combat catcher. He is going to be great wherever he goes for an offense. Just a solid NFL player. Alpha qualities, playmaking abilities, and he's going to end up playing for a good franchise, making plays in the postseason next January, possibly February. And here's why. Here's why I say he's the most productive of any of these guys. Cedric Tillman is going to be very consistent week in and week out for a team and an offense. 3, 4, 5 catches a game that you can count on. And when the game's on the line, he doesn't turtle up and shy away from the football. He wants it. He may not always get it in the NFL, but I want that quality in a wide receiver that I'm going to think is a steal in the 2nd round. Also, I think while you can go through this list and say, this guy's elite, these guys are going to take the top off of defense, I do think we'll see production from the wide receiver class as a whole. We always do. But I think we'll see flashes of that. 4, 5, 6 games that are considered really, really great performances by some of these guys. I'm contending that Tillman's giving me the same consistency week in and week out. And for me, that's more valuable to an offense as a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th wide receiver option especially in December and January. Tillman's the best value of the wide receiver crop because I've seen him do it week in and week out in college.
And I like this also for one of the first reasons you mentioned. He's probably going to go to a good team.
Yeah.
Immediately. And it is amazing that Cedric Tillman
good
in that Tennessee
teams are
offense,
good because they draft guys like him,
he
too.
was the guy being discussed more than anyone preseason and did nothing to dispel that, but he got hurt.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
But, the debate, like a great example is Hyatt or Tillman. Hyatt's going to be good for 4 or 5 games. I'm taking the guy that's going to be good for a regular season and postseason every week. And I can factor him in and move him around.
I love it. He is a guy that, when healthy, can do everything, too. Like, he runs every route.
Yeah.
He can go up and get it deep down the field. I like it.
Do it all type
He's going to be
player.
a great pick for someone in the second round.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to come in and be a number 1.
Yep.
And that's perfect. Hit us up with your unpopular opinions that you find very popular.
That you find popular in your own brain.
Yeah. Can you come up with a 6 quarterback for the top 10 for Chad to add in? No, top 11.
Or 7. I mean, why stop there? Is there a 7th guy out there that you just love?